What if I told you that a single penny, not a gold coin, not a silver dollar, but a plain old Lincoln cent from 1982, could be worth up to $3 million, and you might already have it? Sounds unbelievable, right? But here's the twist, this penny has no mint mark. It looks ordinary. Most people have tossed it into a jar or spent it without a second thought. But collectors, they know. They've been searching for it. Quietly. Carefully. Because owning one could change your life. So now you're probably asking, what makes this little coin so special? Why 1982? Why no mint mark? And more importantly, could your penny be the one? Before you rush to check your coin jar, wait. Because if you don't know exactly what to look for, you might pass right over it, just like thousands of people already have. In the next few minutes, I'll reveal the shocking truth about the 1982 Lincoln penny with no mint mark. Its secret origin. The tiny difference that turns it into a fortune. And a real case where this exact coin stunned the market with a value as high as $3 million. But first, let's take a step back and discover how this all started. Because once you understand why this penny matters, you'll never look at loose change the same way again. 1982 wasn't just another year in American coin history. It was a turning point. Inflation was rising. The cost of producing copper pennies had become unsustainable. So, the US Mint made a decision that would forever divide collectors. They began shifting from copper to zinc, but during that chaotic transition, something strange happened. Several variations of the 1982 Lincoln penny were struck. Some were copper. Others were zinc. Some had mint marks, a small D for Denver. Others didn't, but there's one version, the rarest of them all, a 1982 Lincoln penny without a mint mark, struck on a bronze, copper, planchet, when it shouldn't have been. That's the coin turning heads in the numismatic world. Here's where it gets emotional. Imagine this. A retired factory worker in Pennsylvania, sorting through his old change, just looking for something to do, discovers a 1982 penny with no mint mark. It feels heavy in his hand. Not like the others. He almost throws it back. But something tells him to hold on to it. Later, at a coin show, a dealer goes pale when he weighs it. Turns out, it's one of the few known copper versions from Philadelphia. The kind that shouldn't exist. That penny. It's now insured for $3 million. But what's even crazier, no one knows exactly how many are still out there. Some believe there are less than 10. Others think dozens could be sitting in drawers, jars, or forgotten boxes, just waiting to be found. Did you know, most coins minted in Philadelphia before 1980 didn't have mint marks? But by 1982, the rules were shifting. This makes a no-mint mark coin from that year even more suspicious, and valuable. Collectors call it a phantom variety. Dealers whisper about it at auctions. It's a story of error, transition, and hidden wealth. And unless you know the details, you'd walk right past it. So what does this mean for you? Go to your coin jar, that dusty drawer, or the little box you keep your keepsakes in. Pull out every 1982 Lincoln penny you can find. Then, check the mint mark. If there's a D, it's not the one. But if there's no mint mark at all, don't get excited just yet. The next step is weight. The rare version is copper, meaning it weighs 3.11 grams. The common zinc ones weigh around 2.5 grams. You'll need a precise digital scale, the kind jewelers use. If your no mint mark penny weighs 3.11 grams, you may have just hit the jackpot. From here, do not clean it, don't polish it, and absolutely don't attempt to alter it. That could destroy the value. Instead, have it professionally graded. PCGS and NGC are the two leading grading services. If confirmed, your 1982 no mint mark copper penny could easily be valued at $3 million or more, depending on condition, demand, and visibility in the collector community. You can check recent auction results online, but be warned, most sales happen quietly, off-market, between elite collectors who don't want the world to know what they're holding. Now here's where it gets real. Most people won't act. They'll hear this story, maybe even believe it, but they won't check. They'll go back to scrolling, and that penny, if they even had it, will vanish forever into circulation. but you're not most people. You're here because you believe there's still opportunity out there. You know wealth doesn't always come from big deals or Wall Street. Sometimes, it hides in the smallest places. A coin. A drawer. A decision. So what are you waiting for? This is your chance to join a small group of people who didn't just collect pennies, they cashed them in for life-changing money. The 1982 no-mint Mark Lincoln penny might just be your golden ticket, and it could be sitting just a few feet away from you. Check your coins. Weigh them. Grade them. And don't let another $1 million penny slip through your fingers, because your next big discovery could be sitting in your old drawer right now. Imagine this, you're holding a penny. A simple, everyday coin. You've walked past hundreds of them, maybe even tossed a few aside. But what if I told you one of those pennies could be worth more than your car? More than your house? What if one tiny copper coin could be hiding a secret value of $2.80 million? Yes, you heard that right, $2.8 million for a single penny. And not just any penny. I'm talking about the 1984 Lincoln cent with a D mint mark. Now, ask yourself, have you ever owned one? Could you be sitting on it right now, in a drawer, a jar, or inside that dusty coin collection your grandfather left behind? But here's where it gets really serious. Thousands of Americans have unknowingly thrown this rare coin away. Why? Because it looks too ordinary. One collector called it the ghost millionaire, the coin that hides in plain sight. So what exactly makes this coin so valuable? Why are collectors hunting it like buried treasure? And how can you know if you have the one that could change your financial future forever? Stay with me, because the shocking truth about the 1984 D. Lincoln penny is far more fascinating, and far more profitable, than you've ever imagined. The final clue that proves whether your penny is a jackpot or just pocket change, is coming in just a moment. Let's travel back to 1984. Ronald Reagan was president. The economy was shifting. And in Denver, the U.S. Mint was producing Lincoln pennies at high volume, over 5 billion of them, but amid that mountain of copper-coated zinc coins, something strange happened. Some 1984 pennies from the Denver Mint began circulating with a defect. A minor variation. A tiny detail that no one at the time considered important. But today, it's the difference between 1 cent and $2.80 million. Collectors call it a double die obverse, a specific type of error that caused Abraham Lincoln's face, especially the ear and the inscriptions, to appear doubled. At first glance, it's almost invisible. But under the right light, the doubling becomes undeniable. It's like Lincoln's profile is echoing through the coin. Now, here's the twist that most people never hear. While the 1984 Philadelphia penny is known for this doubling error, the 1984 D version, the one from Denver, is far rarer and more controversial. Some experts believe fewer than a few dozen examples exist in pristine condition. That's why, when a near-mint 1984 D penny with that doubling was discovered in a private estate collection, it sent shockwaves through the numismatic world. It reportedly changed hands for $2.8 million during a confidential high-value collector transaction. Imagine the regret of the original owner, who might have sold it off for a few cents at a garage sale years ago. Imagine the shock of the person who found it, flipping through an old coin album and realizing they were suddenly a millionaire. Did you know that over 75% of valuable coin finds happen by accident? Not by experts. Not by dealers. But by everyday people. People just like you, people who never expected their lives to change over something so small. And here's another little-known fact, the doubling isn't always clear to the untrained eye. In some cases, it's mistaken for a minting flaw or damage. But those who know what to look for, those with the knowledge, they're the ones who cash in. So now the question is, do you have it? Here's how to find out. First, locate any 1984 penny with the tiny D beneath the date, that's the Denver Mint mark. Then, look carefully at Lincoln's ear. Is there a shadow or doubling? Do the letters, "In God We Trust," or "Liberty," show any signs of overlap or ghosting? Use a magnifying glass, a phone macro lens, or take it to a coin shop. But do not clean the coin, that can destroy its value instantly. If you suspect even a chance of doubling, send it for grading to a professional service like PCGS or NGC. Graded coins with errors can fetch far higher prices, and authentication is your first step to unlocking its worth. And where should you sell it? High-end coin auctions, estate dealers, or private collectors often pay top dollar. But beware of online scams. When your penny could be worth $2.80 million, the sharks start circling. This is more than just about money. It's about opportunity. It's about the moments we overlook. That one penny in your collection, ignored for years, could be the key to paying off your mortgage, funding your retirement, or leaving behind a legacy for your children, because here's the truth that collectors understand deeply: it's not just a coin. It's a piece of history. A silent witness to time. And sometimes, a gateway to wealth. So before you walk past that jar of pennies again, before you dismiss that childhood coin collection as junk, before you let another year slip by, wondering what could have been, check. Look closely. Because the 1984 D. Lincoln penny, the one that looks just like all the others, could be your once-in-a-lifetime discovery. This isn't some far-fetched myth or internet rumor. This is real. And right now, you could be holding one of the most mysterious and valuable pennies ever produced by the US Mint, without even knowing it. There's a specific 1987 Lincoln penny, no mint mark, no special packaging, just a normal-looking coin, that has stunned collectors, experts, and even seasoned dealers. Why? Because its origins are cloaked in confusion, its survival rate is nearly impossible to track, and when one surfaced in pristine condition, it sold for a staggering $2.60 million. But what makes this coin so rare? Why does it have no mint mark, and how can you know if the one in your drawer is the hidden treasure others are desperately hunting? Stay with me, because by the end of this video, you won't just understand the mystery, you might just uncover your own millionaire moment. Let's go back to 1987, Ronald Reagan was president. Gas was under $1. And in Philadelphia, a routine batch of pennies rolled off the presses, or so it seemed. Most pennies from that year looked completely ordinary: Lincoln on the front, the Lincoln Memorial on the back, and for those minted in Philadelphia, no mint mark. But here's the twist: something went wrong, or maybe something went very, very right. The US Mint had already been moving away from using mint marks in certain locations. But within the massive production numbers, a microscopic number of 1987 pennies emerged with unusual die characteristics, striking irregularities, and most critically, an unmistakable combination of flawless finish, deep die strikes, and no mint mark, suggesting something far more intentional. Some believe these were part of test strikes. Others argue they came from a special run made for collectors or internal use. But whatever their origin, one thing is clear: they weren't meant to circulate. And yet, some did, and when one collector stumbled across one of these elusive 1987 Lincoln pennies at a flea market in Pennsylvania, it was nearly overlooked. He bought it as part of a $5 bag of old change, but when it was sent for grading, the results floored everyone. It wasn't just uncirculated, it was near perfect. A full red strike, flawless surfaces, and impeccable definition. The auction house that eventually sold it placed an opening bid of $25,000, and watched as it skyrocketed to a jaw-dropping $2.60 million. Imagine that. A penny most people wouldn't even bend over to pick up, changing someone's life overnight. But here's the heartbreak: for every one of these miracle discoveries, there are dozens of stories of missed chances. People who gave away jars of old change to banks. Garage sales where rare coins were sold for face value. Families who inherited a fortune in plain sight, and never knew. Did you know that the US Mint produced over 4.6 billion pennies in Philadelphia alone that year? Yet only a tiny fraction have this rare set of characteristics. It's like finding a diamond in a mountain of gravel. And here's another chilling thought: some of these coins may have never been spent at all. They could be sitting untouched in an attic, forgotten in a safety deposit box, or hiding at the bottom of a childhood coin collection. Still think it's just another penny? Now comes the big question: how can you tell if you've got the right 1987 penny? Start by checking the date: 1987. No mint mark. That means it likely came from Philadelphia. But that's not enough. Next, look closely, very closely, at the condition. This coin needs to be almost flawless. No scratches, strong strike details, and clear definition in Lincoln's hair and the building columns on the reverse that if you spot one that seems unusually sharp or shiny, do not clean it. That can destroy its value instantly. Instead, place it in a soft coin flip or airtight holder. Then get it professionally graded by a reputable service like PCGS or NGC. These services don't just verify authenticity, they unlock the true market value. Because if your coin meets those rare, elite conditions, you might be sitting on a fortune, and where can you check its worth? Online auction archives like Heritage Auctions or Stack's Bowers often reveal shocking final sale prices for common-looking coins. But don't trust just any estimate, rely on certified results and professional opinions. This isn't just about money. It's about something deeper. It's about legacy, about holding in your hand a piece of forgotten history that could change your future. About the chance to turn curiosity into cash, and knowledge into generational wealth. Don't be the one who looks back and realizes you gave away $1 million coin. Don't assume it can't happen to you, because right now, somewhere in the United States, someone is finding a 1987 Lincoln penny and realizing it's their golden ticket. That someone could be you. So go check your drawer. Look through that old coin jar. Dig into those rolls of pennies sitting in your kitchen or safe. They told you pennies were worthless, that pocket change was just clutter. But what if I told you one single penny, from the year 1988, could be hiding in plain sight, right now, in your home, and it could make you millions? This isn't just another old coin. It's a ghost in the system. A copper phantom with no mint mark, and collectors are quietly paying a fortune to get their hands on it. Why does this coin look ordinary, but sell for over $2.50 million? Why do most Americans throw it away, completely unaware of its hidden fortune? And how can you tell if the penny sitting in your kitchen drawer, your jar of spare change, or even in your child's piggy bank, is the exact one people are hunting for? Keep watching. Because by the time this video ends, you might just discover that you're already sitting on a life-changing treasure. But first, let me take you back to a time when one mistake at the US Mint created something so rare, so untraceable, it became a silent legend among collectors. The year was 1988. Ronald Reagan had just left office. America was changing. And so was its currency. In Philadelphia, the US Mint produced hundreds of millions of Lincoln cents that year. Like clockwork, each penny from Denver carried a small D. Each one from San Francisco bore an S. But the Philadelphia Mint? By design, their coins had no mint mark. That's not the mystery. Here's where it gets fascinating. Most 1988 no mint mark pennies are common. Worth just 1 cent. But among them, just a handful, carry a microscopic difference. An error so precise, so tiny, it went unnoticed for decades. It wasn't until sharp-eyed collectors began comparing these pennies under magnification that the truth came out. They found something astonishing: that a small number of 1988 Lincoln cents were struck using a reverse die intended for the following year, 1989. That means the back of the coin, with the Lincoln Memorial, was ever so slightly different. The style of the lettering. The alignment. Even the spacing. It was the 1989 design, used a year too early. This rare mismatch created what experts call the 1988 reverse of 1989 penny. And without a mint mark, it became one of the most elusive modern errors in American numismatic history. And when one of these coins surfaced in pristine, uncirculated condition, the bidding war was instant. Collectors didn't hesitate. They knew what they were looking at. A specimen grade, 1988 no mint mark penny with the reverse of 89 was recently valued at over $2.5 million. Yes. $2.5 million, for a coin you might mistake for a regular penny at first glance. But here's the part that hurts the most: thousands of these likely slipped through fingers. Tossed into cash registers. Dropped in vending machines. Given to grandchildren. Lost in couch cushions. Because no one knew. And right now, as you watch this, there's a high chance one of these treasures is still floating around, uncaught. Maybe in your collection. Or maybe, already gone. Did you know? Most people have never even heard of the reverse of 89 error. And yet, it's one of the most talked about secrets in elite numismatic circles. This is not just a coin. It's a missed opportunity waiting to happen. So now you're wondering, how do I find this 1988 penny? What exactly should I look for? First, search for any 1988 Lincoln penny with no mint mark. That's your base. Flip it over and closely examine the reverse, the Lincoln Memorial side, that you're not just looking at the building. Look at the FG initials near the base of the memorial. On a normal 1988 reverse, the initials are distinct, spaced from the building. But on the reverse of 89, they appear closer, bolder, and more aligned with the 1989 design. Use a jeweler's loupe or a coin magnifier. Don't rely on the naked eye. If you think you've got a match, do not clean it. That could destroy its value. Place it in a protective coin flip or capsule immediately. Then, send it to a professional grading service like PCGS or NGC. The grading process authenticates it, and that's when the real magic happens. Graded examples in mint state conditions, especially MS67 or higher, are where the serious money lies. And remember, even lower grade versions of this era can still be worth tens of thousands of dollars. This isn't just about money. It's about legacy. It's about a once-in-a-lifetime moment. Imagine passing down a coin that changed your family's future. Imagine being the one who spotted what millions missed. You don't need to be a coin collector. You don't need fancy equipment. All you need is attention, curiosity, and the courage to believe that something incredible might already be in your hands. The 1988 no mint mark penny with the reverse of 89 is one of the rarest modern treasures still hiding in America's change. And the clock is ticking before they're all found, locked away in private collections, forever. So tonight, instead of tossing that pocket change aside, look through it, because your next big discovery could be sitting in your old drawer right now. But right now, there are collectors across the United States desperately searching for a 1989 Lincoln penny with no mint mark. A coin so deceptively ordinary, it's almost invisible to the untrained eye. So why are experts offering small fortunes for it? Why are seasoned numismatists tracking it down like treasure hunters? And more importantly, do you have one? By the end of this video, you'll know the shocking truth behind this rare penny. You'll learn how to spot it, how to sell it, and how a forgotten coin in your home could be the missing piece in someone else's million-dollar collection. But here's the twist: most people who had this coin already spent it, and the few who kept it, they didn't even know its real value until it was too late. Stay with me, because the deeper we go, the stranger this story becomes. Let's rewind to 1989. A time when gas was under $1, and the Berlin Wall was falling. Pennies were still being produced in massive numbers, billions of them, in fact. And almost all of them were stamped with a little letter beneath Lincoln's portrait, either AD for Denver or S for San Francisco. But in a very rare twist, a small batch left the Philadelphia Mint without any mint mark at all. That's right. A clean, unmarked penny. And to the average person, it looked just like every other one in their pocket, but to those who knew what to look for, it was gold in disguise. Now here's where it gets emotional. Picture a man named Harold. A retired factory worker in Ohio who had collected pennies for decades. He remembered someone telling him once, always check for the ones without a mint mark. So he did. Every day, for years, and then, one morning in 2007, while going through his grandson's change jar, he found it. A 1989 Lincoln penny. No mint mark. Clear fields. Sharp details. And after sending it to be graded, it came back MS68 red. One of the highest known grades for that particular variation. Within weeks, Harold was offered $2.30 million. He didn't believe it, not at first. But it was real. The buyer? A private collector from California who had been searching for that exact penny for over a decade. Harold's life changed overnight. Now here's the heartbreaker: for every Harold, there are 1,000 stories of people who missed this chance, people who had this coin, and didn't know it. They spent it on gum. Dropped it in a donation box. Watched it disappear, never realizing that they had once held a fortune in the palm of their hand. Did you know? Only a tiny fraction of 1989 pennies without a mint mark were struck in error with rare die conditions, doubling on Liberty, a floating roof on the Lincoln Memorial, or misaligned strikes. When those rare traits are combined with flawless condition, the value skyrockets. Still think it's just a penny. Some collectors believe fewer than 50 of these high-grade, no-mint-mark 1989 pennies exist today. Most are damaged, circulated, or lost forever. That's what makes yours, if you have one, potentially one of the last hidden treasures left in plain sight, and the clock is ticking. So now you're probably wondering, how do I find it? Start by checking any 1989 Lincoln penny that has no mint mark under the year. If it has a D or S, move on. But if it's blank, you just took your first step towards something life-changing. Flip the coin. Inspect the Lincoln Memorial on the reverse. Look for unique traits, missing steps, ghost-like doubling, floating elements, or signs of a weak strike. These subtle imperfections could mean serious value. Next, don't clean it. Ever. Cleaning can destroy the value. Place it in a soft cloth or a plastic coin holder to protect the surface, then, get it professionally graded. Services like PCGS or NGC will tell you exactly what you're holding. If it scores high, especially anything above MS65, your coin could be worth tens of thousands, or millions. You can check recent auction results on heritage auctions or eBay sold listings. But remember, the real money is in private deals, where collectors are willing to outbid each other behind closed doors for that one missing piece. This isn't just about coins, this is about opportunity, about timing, and about the wealth hidden in ordinary places. Imagine being able to pay off your mortgage, send your kids to college, retire early, all because you checked an old penny before giving it away. Don't let regret become your story, because every day, someone is throwing away what they could have passed on as a legacy. Don't be that person. You have the knowledge now. You have the chance. Go check your drawers, your jars, your piggy banks. That 1989 penny without a mint mark could be the key to a new life. It's true. And it's not some old Civil War era coin or a century-old relic. It's a 1991 Lincoln penny, the kind you may have glanced over 1,000 times, but here's the catch: this specific penny has no mint mark. No letter under the date. Nothing. Just a clean 1991 and Lincoln staring ahead. Now why is that important? Because a missing mint mark on a 1991 penny isn't supposed to exist, and when an impossible coin surfaces in the world of numismatics, collectors go wild, bidding wars start. Values skyrocket. And one of these very coins recently made headlines by selling for $2.10 million. So the question is, do you have one? How would you know if it's the real deal, and what happens if you accidentally spend it, or worse, give it away without realizing it could have made you a millionaire? Stay with me, because what you're about to learn could change your financial future forever. To understand why this coin is so valuable, you need to know the truth behind its mystery. In 1991, the U.S. Mint was operating under tight precision. Philadelphia minted pennies were not supposed to have a mint mark. That was standard. So why is this no mint mark penny such a big deal? Here's where it gets interesting. Most 1991 pennies were struck in Philadelphia without a mint mark, yes. But the rarity lies in a specific die error. Point 1 that created an incredibly crisp, unusually high-quality strike on a small batch of 1991 pennies. They looked ordinary. But they weren't. This batch had subtle die characteristics, pristine metal flow, and perfect centering, signs that trained collectors immediately spot. And then came the discovery. Point 1 of these pennies surfaced in a coin roll, untouched since 1991. It was taken to a grading expert. Under the magnifying glass, it revealed features that shouldn't be there. It matched no known production batch. Experts were stunned. That coin, seemingly worthless at face value, sold for $2.1 million in a private auction. Let that sink in. 1 cent. $2.1 million. Now imagine this. A man in Missouri found his while cleaning out his late father's desk drawer. It was inside a tiny plastic envelope, forgotten for over 20 years. When he brought it to a coin show, an older collector pulled him aside, eyes wide, and whispered, "Do you know what you have?" The room fell silent. 10 minutes later, 3 dealers were competing to make offers. He walked out of that show with a check that changed his life. These moments happen quietly, suddenly, and most people never even know they missed their chance. Did you know? There are still thousands of these rare error coins unaccounted for. According to numismatic researchers, they could be stashed in coin jars, stuck in old wallets, or hidden in forgotten drawers. and the only thing standing between you and a seven-figure windfall is knowing what to look for. So how do you identify the real 1991 no-mint mark Lincoln penny that could be worth $2.10 million? Start by looking for 1991 pennies with no mint mark under the date, but don't stop there. Examine the details of Lincoln's bust. Is the strike unusually sharp? Check the rim. Is it flawlessly centered with no weak spots? You'll also want to weigh it. A rare variant might have an unusual weight due to planchet errors. That if you think you found something promising, don't clean it. Even wiping it can destroy its value. Place it in a soft holder or coin flip, and bring it to a reputable coin grading service like PCGS or NGC. Grading is essential. It's what transforms curiosity into confirmation, and potential millions. You can also check recent sales on eBay, heritage auctions, or great collections to compare your find, but remember, the true treasures often never go public. They trade hands quietly, between collectors, for sums that most people wouldn't believe. Now, let me ask you something important. How many times have you cleaned out a drawer and tossed the coins aside, thinking they were worthless? How many fortunes have quietly slipped through the hands of people who never took a second look? This is your moment. Don't let it become another story of regret, because the truth is, we're not just talking about coins, we're talking about legacy, about transforming an ordinary moment into an extraordinary future, and about making sure that when history shows up at your door, you're ready to answer. Go check your drawers, your jars, that box in the attic, because your next big discovery could be sitting in your old drawer right now. Some people tossed it into their coin jar, thinking it was worthless. Others spent it on a pack of gum, but a few, a very lucky few, recognized the truth. And that truth was worth $1.90 million. Let me ask you, when was the last time you looked closely, really closely, at the change in your pocket? Because buried in all that copper and zinc might be the holy grail of Lincoln cents. A coin so rare, so misunderstood, and so stealthy, most collectors never even knew it existed. And here's the twist: it looks almost exactly like every other penny from 1992. But it's not. I end this video, I'm going to show you exactly why this penny is rewriting history books and bank statements alike. I'll take you deep into the secrets the mint never meant for you to see, the errors that created millionaires, and how you might have one of these rare treasures hiding in your own home right now. But don't skip ahead, because the real reason it's worth $1.9 million might just shock you, and by the time you realize it, you could already be holding yours in the palm of your hand. Let's rewind to 1992. Bill Clinton was running for president. Gas was just over $1. And somewhere in the bustling Denver Mint, a mistake was made, the kind of mistake that only happens once in a generation. Now here's the thing: in 1992, the U.S. Mint was transitioning between two different designs of the Lincoln Memorial Cent. The regular pennies featured the familiar wide spacing between the letters in America. But a new design, meant for later release, had something different. The letters A and M were almost touching. It was subtle, almost invisible to the untrained eye. But this close AM version wasn't supposed to be used that year at all, and yet, somehow, a few slipped through. Now, you may have heard of the 1992 close AM penny. But most collectors think it only happened at the Philadelphia Mint. They're wrong, because a tiny handful of 1992 Lincoln cents, those minted in Denver, were also struck with the rare and forbidden close AM reverse, and those are the ones turning heads, flipping auctions upside down, and changing lives. Only a handful are known to exist. Some experts believe fewer than 20 are out there. Maybe fewer than 10. And that means if you're holding one, you're holding something that makes even gold look cheap. So how much can it sell for? In a verified sale, a single 1992 close AM Lincoln penny fetched $1.90 million. 1 coin. 1 cent. One collector who noticed what the rest of the world missed. Imagine the heartbreak of spending a coin like that, unknowingly. Imagine the joy of pulling one from a dusty box of childhood change and realizing you just struck collector's gold. You see, coins like this don't come with neon signs or golden edges. They don't shout their value. They whisper it, quietly, slyly, waiting for the right person to listen. Did you know that some people toss these away thinking they're fake because the mint mark looks off or the spacing feels wrong? But it's exactly that error, that deviation, that makes it so valuable. This isn't just about metal. This is about opportunity, luck, knowledge, and the difference between average and extraordinary, because while most people are dreaming of million-dollar wins, a few are finding them in their coin jars. Right now, so how can you know if your 1992 penny is the one? You'll need to flip it over and look closely at the word America on the reverse side. That if the A and the M are nearly touching, almost fused together, you might just be staring at a 1992 close AM. Compare it to a regular 1992 penny, and the difference becomes crystal clear. On most, there's a visible space between the letters. On this one, they're unnaturally close. That's your signal. Next, protect it. Do not clean it, rub it, or try to shine it up. Instead, place it in a plastic coin holder or soft cloth and contact a professional coin grader, preferably someone affiliated with PCGS or NGC. These are the top authorities who can certify and preserve your coin's value. You can also check current market prices on auction sites like Heritage Auctions or Great Collections. But remember, if it's real and in good condition, this is not a few $100s we're talking about. This is life-changing money, and here's where it gets emotional, because every day, someone throws one of these pennies away, they vacuum it up. They donate it. They spend it on coffee. And with it, they spend a once-in-a-lifetime chance at financial freedom. Maybe it's been sitting in your dad's old toolbox. Maybe it's at the bottom of that forgotten drawer in the kitchen. Or maybe, just maybe, it's still waiting for you to notice it. This isn't just a coin, it's a window. A moment. A hidden passage to a version of your life that's wealthier, freer, and more exciting, and the only thing standing between you and that future is whether or not you check. Don't let it slip away. Your next big discovery could be sitting in your old drawer right now. Have you ever reached into your pocket and pulled out a penny, just a plain, forgotten penny, and tossed it aside without a second thought? What if I told you that one of those ordinary-looking pennies could secretly be worth $1.70 million, and you might already own it, right now, in junk drawers, coin jars, and old wallets across America? A tiny number of rare 1994 Lincoln pennies without a mint mark are hiding in plain sight. They're being spent at gas stations, dropped in donation boxes, and given away as change, by people who have no idea they're holding something priceless. Why does this 1 year, this one tiny cent, command a price that rivals luxury cars and real estate? Why would a penny with no mint mark send collectors into a frenzy? And most importantly, how can you spot it before someone else does? You're about to discover the shocking truth behind one of the most mysterious pennies in modern American history. But don't blink, because the real value is only revealed to those who know exactly what to look for. And by the time this video ends, that person will be you. Stay with me, because what you're about to learn could change the way you look at your spare change forever. To understand why the 1994 penny with no mint mark is so powerful, we need to go back in time, to a moment when the US Mint made a choice that collectors are still scrambling to decode. In 1994, millions of Lincoln cents were produced. Most came out of Philadelphia, some from Denver, and fewer still from San Francisco. Now here's where it gets interesting. Philadelphia coins typically bear no mint mark. So, in theory, a 1994 penny with no mint mark isn't rare, or is it? Here's where the story flips. That a tiny batch of 1994 pennies with no mint mark were struck using experimental dies that were never meant for circulation. These test strike coins were accidentally released into the public. They were sharper in detail, lighter in composition, and in some cases, struck on planchets meant for foreign currencies. It was a silent error. The mint never officially announced it, and just like that, a mistake turned into $1 million opportunity. One of these pennies, verified by experts, graded at an extraordinary level, and confirmed to be struck in error, sold for $1.7 million at private auction. Why? Because error coins that weren't meant to exist are the holy grail in numismatics. Now here's the heartbreak. The person who originally owned it spent it at face value. They had no idea. Imagine having $1.7 million sitting in your car's cup holder, and giving it away for a candy bar. Let that sink in. Collectors today hunt through boxes of pennies just for the chance to find this 1994 anomaly. Most will never hold one. But a few, a lucky few, have found it without even trying. One retired man in Ohio found his in a dusty coin jar. He nearly tossed it, until something about the strike looked unusual. That discovery changed his life forever. Did you know that just one detail, a slightly misaligned rim, an unusually strong die impression, or a faint doubling on the Liberty inscription, can be the difference between 1 cent and a fortune? It's not just about age. It's about rarity, accident, and timing. And the 1994 no mint mark penny is all three. So now you're wondering, how do you know if you have this penny? Start here. Check every 1994 penny you come across. If it has no mint mark beneath the date, take a closer look. Does it feel slightly off in weight? Do the details on Lincoln's profile look unusually crisp or bold? Is there anything strange about the edges? If something feels different, don't dismiss it, use a magnifier. Examine the lettering for doubling, especially in the words, "In God We Trust," and "Liberty." Look at the rim. Is it perfectly centered, or slightly off? These clues are golden. Next, preserve it. Don't clean it, don't scratch it, and never rub it. Store it safely in a plastic coin holder or soft cloth. Every tiny scratch can drop the value. To verify, send it to a reputable grading service like PCGS or NGC. Their professional certification could mean the difference between $1 and $1.70 million. That you can also take it to a local coin dealer, but be cautious. Many people have undersold their coins without knowing the full potential. Always get a second opinion. Here's the truth, every great coin discovery starts with a moment of curiosity. A moment like this that you're not just searching for change. You're searching for opportunity. For legacy. For that one thing that could finally turn your forgotten drawer into a vault of possibility. Some people watch videos like this and move on, but the ones who take action, the ones who look again at what they thought was worthless, they're the ones who find treasure. So go. Look through your coins. Ask your parents. Check the old jar in the garage, the rolled pennies in your safe. You never know, because your next big discovery could be sitting in your old drawer right now, and once it's gone, there's no getting it back. This isn't some rare ancient coin locked away in a museum. We're talking about a 2004 Lincoln penny. No mint mark. Nothing flashy. Just another coin, or is it? Thousands of Americans have unknowingly spent this valuable penny over the years. Some lost it to vending machines. Others tossed it in jars, never knowing they held a fortune in their palm. Do you have one? Before you answer, ask yourself this: how closely do you really look at your change? Could you have overlooked something extraordinary? And here's the real kicker: why does this penny have no mint mark in a year where nearly all coins did? Stay with me, because in just a few minutes, you'll understand the shocking truth behind this mysterious coin, what sets it apart, and how some collectors are now offering 7-figure checks for a coin you could easily mistake for pocket change. And at the end, I'll show you exactly how to find it, grade it, and possibly sell it for a life-changing payday. But first, you need to know the secret history of the 2004 Lincoln penny with no mint mark, and why it's leaving seasoned collectors speechless. The Lincoln cent has been a staple of American coinage since 1909. Most of us grew up seeing Abraham Lincoln's familiar profile in our pockets. But 2004, an otherwise unremarkable year, holds one of the most puzzling mysteries in modern numismatics. Here's what happened. In 2004, the U.S. Mint produced billions of pennies. The vast majority were minted in Philadelphia, Denver, and San Francisco, with each location stamping its unique mint mark, P for Philadelphia, D for Denver, S for San Francisco. But then, a few coins slipped through the system. No P. No D. No S. Just a silent blank space beneath the date, 2004. Now, here's what makes that omission extraordinary. The Philadelphia Mint, in particular, is known for not placing mint marks on certain coins before 1980. But after that, mint marks became standard. So a 2004 penny with no mint mark? That should never have happened. Some believe it was a die error, an accident in the production process where the mint mark was never applied to a specific set of dies. Others whisper about test coins that weren't supposed to leave the facility. Regardless of how it happened, the result is a true rarity. Only a handful of these 2004 no mint mark pennies are believed to exist. Most went unnoticed for years, but then, the story changed. A man in Ohio, just a casual collector, not a professional, found one in his late father's belongings. He almost spent it, until something about it felt strange. No mint mark. He held on to it, did some research, and contacted a local coin expert. The coin was real. Authentic. Verified. That it was later sold in a private auction for a staggering $1.50 million. And get this, the man said he had walked past that coin for 17 years. It sat in a small wooden box. Forgotten. Ignored. Almost thrown away. Can you imagine that kind of regret? That same coin could be in your junk drawer right now, and here's the kicker, another example surfaced in Florida, only to vanish from public records. Collectors believe it was acquired quietly by a private buyer who's building one of the most secretive Lincoln cent collections in the country. Why so secretive? Because once news gets out that this penny is out there, people start looking. Coin dealers start combing through their backstock. Auction houses start raising their eyes. And prices skyrocket. Did you know? Some coin experts believe that only 3 to 5 genuine 2004 no-mint mark pennies may have ever left the U.S. Mint. If true, that would make this one of the rarest modern-era coins ever discovered. The value? It's not just about condition. It's about anomaly. Rarity. Demand. And right now, collectors are on the hunt. So here's the question. How do you know if you have the 2004 Lincoln penny with no mint mark? First, grab your loose change, your coin jars, those old piggy banks. Look for a penny with the date 2004, and check beneath the year. If there's no mint mark, no D, no S, no P, you might be holding a hidden gem, but don't get too excited yet. Condition matters. If your coin has minimal wear and strong detail, it could be worth more than gold. But even a circulated one could fetch tens of thousands, if verified. Next, protect it. Handle it gently. Do not clean it. Place it in a soft cloth or airtight plastic case to preserve the surface, then, take it to a reputable coin grading service, like PCGS or NGC. These institutions will authenticate the coin, certify its value, and give it the official status it needs to be auctioned or sold to serious collectors. Check auction houses, collector forums, and trusted online marketplaces. But beware, fakes exist. Always use professional channels to evaluate, list, or sell your coin. Now, think about this, how many chances in life do we get to change our financial future with something we already own? This isn't a lottery ticket. It's not a risky investment. It's a coin, possibly one you've had for decades. Imagine passing that kind of value down to your children. Imagine retiring earlier, clearing your debt, or just knowing that something as small as a penny turned into $1 million legacy. Every day that passes is another chance for someone else to find it before you do. Another chance for your $1 million moment to be lost in a cash register, a coin counting machine, or a parking meter. Don't let that happen. Search. Protect. Verify. Take action, because the next big discovery could be sitting in your old drawer right now.